Wonder if
Bro takes this
into songs or tales. What? I wonder if people will ever say, let's hear about...
Philip Golden Corral,
And they'll say, yes, it's one of my favorite stories.
Juan Legend.
Really courageous, wasn't he, Dad? Yes, my boy. The most famousest of hobbits. And that's saying a lot. You've left out one of the chief characters.
I am Luis Pablo.
It's the brave. I want to hear more about...
Vida y Vino.
Welcome to Bro Taste This.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Vida y Vino on Bro Taste This, where we break down food, wine, news, and our childhood trauma. Today we have Juan Legend.
How we all doing, boys?
We have Cesare Salad, special guest, and we have Phil Golden Corral.
Hey.
And I am Luis Pablo, and I have hair in my mouth.
This is a very beautiful, magical episode today.
This is going to be a very magical episode, I agree.
I'm pretty pumped for this. At the top of the hour, we're going to start talking about, we're going to be Tolkien, all about Rings of Power.
Exactly.
And anticipation of the new Amazon hit TV show. I already said it, The Rings of Power.
Yeah, exactly.
And to end off later on in the hour, we're going to talk about a magical moment in our lives that experience such true wonders of life. But before we get into that...
Before,
we're going to talk about a little bit of Daddy Trump news.
We also, instead of drinking wine, we have a slightly different tea, or we should call them elixirs.
Elixirs.
Potions.
There you go.
Elixirs.
Herbal elixirs.
Exactly. Yeah. Elixirs and potions. I think all of us have a different one. Am I correct?
Forgot what I had, actually.
Yerba mate.
Yerba mate, there you go.
Yerba mate. I have a very authentic Asian tea.
Are you too far? Is your microphone going to catch you?
No, we're good. Okay. Yeah. We have this very authentic... I keep getting hair in my fucking mouth.
You just gotta embrace that, bro.
I'm there with you, though.
Yeah, Caesar's got the worst thing.
Oh, my God.
I mean, Phil, you look really good.
Thank you.
Phil looks amazing.
There's something different about him, though.
For our audio listeners, we're currently in full Lord of the Rings regalia.
Yeah.
In anticipation for this episode, highly recommend jumping onto the YouTube.
And at least watching 30 seconds of it.
Or in the words of Gandalf, fly, you fools.
Hey, there you go.
Who are you supposed to be again, Phil?
Gimli the Foreman.
Gimli the Foreman?
Break that down for us.
Well,
Why the high vis vest?
Because for those who don't know about Tolkien lore and culture, dwarves are very constructionist, very materialistic folks. They're all about craftsmanship, and that's why construction is one of the core values for a dwarf. So what better way to capitalize the safety of construction than high vis?
I would just like to add that nowhere in Tolkien's work does it ever say that there's neon orange. So.
And Caesar Salad is playing Dumbledore.
Gandalf.
Where's Dumbledore from?
Harry Potter. You'd be forgiven, though. They kind of look the same, but...
Aren't they played by the same actor?
No, one's Ian McKellen, and I don't know who the other dude is.
Bro, the other guy has like 300 pounds on him.
No, he doesn't.
Well, the actor changes within movies. I believe he changes like in the second movie because I think he passed away.
Yeah, the actor from the first Lord of the Rings passed away.
No.
Harry Potter?
For Harry Potter. Lord of the Rings is always Ian McKellen. He's still alive to this day, actually.
Sir Ian McKellen. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sorry, Ian McKellen. You're dressed... I keep calling you Dumbledore. It's Gandalf.
I thought you were joking at first, so I just let it slide.
I was being 100% genuine. I love those movies, too.
Dumbledore the Grey.
Man, I saw the first one. I was way too young. And Juan, you are...
I'm Aragorn, but they gave me an elf cape and an elf brooch, so I'm kind of audibling over here to some sort of elf goon at this point. You know?
Exactly. You look cool.
I'd be your goon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm playing Sam, obviously.
Yeah.
Sam.
You're Legolas.
Yeah.
Is that first mess up? We don't know if he's joking or not.
It's hard to give you the benefit of the doubt after
he's gonna start.
Dumbledore.
He's gonna start adding Hermione and Ron in here somewhere at some point.
I'm playing Harry.
I'm Snipes.
What does everybody think about their potion today?
Mine's more
Phil,
of a...
break it down.
Yeah, what is Phil's
go in
got
that order.
Phil's got the strongest elixir.
Yes. They call this the brew of the wizard, which is a mixture of oolong tea and Lunar Hendrix gin.
Oh,
Gin.
Jesus.
Yep.
I was gonna say whiskey, but it's gin. Lunar gin.
This alcoholic is the only one drinking right now.
Honestly, though.
Is your hair not getting wet?
Yes, I got. For those viewers, I got gray hairs all over my tea right now, and it's not
giving
very
you-
pleasant.
It's giving you more power, if anything.
It filters the tea, man.
Exactly.
This is how you get through the work shift at the Dwarf Mountain.
Fair enough. Caesar, what do you think about your tea?
I'm not a big tea guy per se. I'm more of a coffee guy, but it's actually pretty good. I was surprised I didn't need any sweetener in there. So, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
And Juan, what are you drinking? Oh,
Before this, I had some kava. It was really nice. And right now, I'm drinking that like banana coconut rooibos tea. So that's really nice.
I gotta say, it smells good.
Yeah.
From here, I can actually get a whiff of it.
Yeah,
It smells like banana.
Yeah, I really like this tea.
Yeah.
It's just dried fruit with rooibos, so it's really nice tea.
I had some of that. I had a cup of that before I had this one, and it's really, really good. Like, I want to go and buy some of that. That's
been-
how good it is.
Yeah, that's been one of my favorite teas that I've like ever run into.
I'm like Caesar. I'm a big coffee drinker, but I always try to make the switch to tea, and I just something about dark coffee in the morning on an empty stomach.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
On an,
It's
you
a
know,
drug, bro. It is. You know, like we all just gotta be honest. You know. Like,
Oh, it's phenomenal. I'm definitely like
Right.
I have a terrible coffee habit.
I will say though, I've been talking to this friend of mine that's really into tea recently.
Yeah.
So she's been getting me into tea a little bit more.
Yeah.
But this is definitely good. I'll have to
Nice.
try this out.
And,
Yeah.
yerba mate has similar effects to coffee, but it has like
Makes you poop.
Well, no, it has a shit ton of caffeine, but it also has like a slight euphoric like thing as like a side benefit as well.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have this like super authentic Asian tea, like Chinese
Yeah.
specifically.
Like all the characters were in Chinese, on the
Right.
box.
Yeah. I couldn't read anything.
And that's why you picked it. Right?
And that's why I went
He's like, this looks interesting.
I went to Asian Midway Foods, and I just grabbed the most authentic looking one that I could still somewhat read in English. Like it's like Chinese tea, and then everything else is in Chinese characters. So you're like, all right, this looks good.
It says
And-
tea. It must be tea.
And it tastes very similar to coffee, and like
Holy shit.
yeah, it's really strange. It's really good though. I fuck with it a lot. I might have to keep it going for a while.
a nice little elixir for the morning.
Yeah. Speaking of keeping going for a while, Daddy Trump wanted to keep the nuclear codes for a while.
Bunch of classified papers,
As he should have.
as you do. As you do.
What a knucklehead.
How are we gonna trust Sleepy Joe?
Well, at least sleep. Well, we don't have to watch out for Sleepy Joe. It's Awake Kamala. We gotta be on the lookout for.
What did you
Kamala. Kamala.
You like Kamala Harris?
She's. You know what? Anybody that's gonna put people like me in jail, I vote. We need to get people like me off the streets ASAP. And that's all about Kamala.
I love Kamala Harris because I've only seen her twice. There's that much to dislike.
That's true, actually. Even when Joe was was the vice president, you actually heard a little bit more about
Yeah.
him and
Yeah.
his doings.
Dude, Joe Biden memes were like half the internet when he was
Barry-
around.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah,
Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe was like so wild. I remember he had this crazy interview where he was like fully serious talking to a reporter, and she was like, obviously being vice president comes with a lot of responsibilities, and Sleepy Joe is like, I told Barack that I would not do two things: that I wouldn't wear a silly hat, and that I would never let him down. those are the two things. Like those.
Bro, wait, where do you think the silly hat rule came from? that's my question.
Could you imagine like Joe just walking into the Oval Office with like a gesture? Like, hey Obama, look what I got. Just found this out at the thrift store.
Like, and the fact that he said that would be that's the first thing he said. Like, I would not wear a silly hat, and I'll never that's the important one. Like, that's what you decide to say first.
The priority.
Exactly.
We gotta scour the internet. There's gotta be a picture out there with Joe wearing a silly hat.
Dude, let me look right now. There's gotta be, right?
I remember in the beginning, like back when Obama was president, like the memes for Joe were like, "Get yourself a best friend like Joe Biden."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Uncle Joe. He had like so much like good internet karmic points, you know? Like yeah.
And now it seems like no one wants to be a part of it at all.
Australian news is making fun of him for quote unquote pooping himself while meeting the Pope and all that stuff. Did you see
No,
that? Yeah.
shut up.
That can't be
Is
real.
is this like a regular like news channel or
This
is
is
this
Reddit.
like
It's probably Robert Murdoch.
yeah, I was gonna
It's
say,
probably-
is this Murdoch's like wing
said,
in Australia?
as I said, Australia. I was like, you know what? Probably Robert
Yeah,
Murdoch.
like, that's what I'm saying. The fucking dark Sith Lord himself.
The Emperor.
I mean, do you guys know how like supposedly like they have like their own private place so they can use the bathroom and stuff? Like, do they get if they get that old? Like, do they have like their own private like diapers that are like specially made for the presidency? You think?
They gotta.
Shit, they better,
Because
bro.
Ronald Reagan went crazy. He went Alzheimer's and like, you know, people with Alzheimer's pee and poop themselves. So you can only imagine if Reagan would be rocking diapers.
Getting Alzheimer's, him going crazy, that super brain degenerative disease that limbers people fucking handicapped.
You know, that one thing.
That is.
God damn.
Oh my! I couldn't find the quote or any fucking video of him where they have, but
Damn.
We
Obama knew better.
we believe.
Obama knew better. Exactly.
And that brings us full circle that Obama knew better not to take home classified documents. Juan, would you like to walk us into what the FBI raid did?
As far as I'm aware, you guys correct me if you find any details there that don't sound accurate, but Trump, when he left the office and was transitioning out of the White House, took like 12 or more boxes of files that had all sorts of classification levels from top secret to confidential to top secret. And then I believe there's even like another higher level. And Luis was informing us that it had to do a lot with nuclear codes. Is that what you had read about?
Yeah,
Luis?
so it turns out, I have the article here, the mystery at Mar-a-Lago, what were FBI agents looking for, and what are the consequences. This was published on August 9th by Becky Sullivan. So that Monday, so a little over a week ago, the FBI raided the former president's house, and including a safe, like they were looking for something particular, because you don't just go raid a house for absolutely no reason. And we're not entirely sure, but it's related to 15 boxes of presidential documents that were removed from the Mar-a-Lago house. So people can assume that what happened was he had brought some stuff over with him. And one of the things that the FBI would raid for is probably nuclear codes. So ultimately, we still don't know exactly because it's classified, but we do know that 15 boxes of presidential documentation were taken, and the FBI doesn't just raid a house for no reason.
Did you guys see like the reaction to this by like all over the country? Like how FBI offices have seen like protesters and
Well, I was showing
like
you
attempted
videos.
terrorists.
I was sending you videos of myself out in the streets pissed off. I was like, they're doing this to Trump. Oh, go get Clinton.
I saw a video of some guy as it was happening, like crying, almost like on the verge of tears outside of Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Like he wasn't crying full blown, but like you could tell that he was like on the
He was
verge.
fighting them
He
back.
was just like one more comment away from like, oh, he might go to jail for this, and he'd be like,
That is so crazy. What?
His senior advisor for his Trump Foundation, for his Trump political campaign, just pleaded guilty to 13 charges out of like 15. What's his name? Mike Perry? No, it's not Mike Perry. But someone from the Trump team is indicted for 13
Yeah.
crimes. Yeah.
yeah, I heard about that too. But I think they're suspecting he's got a plea deal, and they think that he's gonna be like,
6 months in Riker if he flips.
yeah, I guess, yes. I don't know about the Rikers, but sure.
I mean, what else are they going to send him? New York over there, right? Rikers in New York. I only get that from Spider-Man. You know,
Well,
Rikers Island.
that's the best. That's the best resource you could use. Do you guys think that this is going to hurt his
chances.
his chances of
2024?
running back?
Ooh, that's a great question.
I mean,
Because-
actually, unless he actually gets convicted of something, you know.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there is no legal ramification for if you are involved in a crime, you can still run for president.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh, well, then no, actually.
Because I think if anything, this will help people get on his train even
Right.
more
Yeah.
to
Saying,
be
like-
like, they did my boy wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I think.
You
the
look,
deep state's going after him again.
you look very puzzled, Juan. It looked like you wanted to say something.
Because I thought there was.
Now, legally speaking, the Constitution does not prevent a run by a candidate who has been indicted or convicted of most crimes.
Most crimes.
I mean, unless it's treason.
Yeah, unless they convict him for treason for stealing nuclear codes.
I
but
thought
that'd
that,
be
like-
a stretch.
Like, it was like, once it was felon level, like, that kicked in and you couldn't run for most offices.
Well, if that's the case, Nixon would have never run again for the second time. Don't
Over
forget
the
about
water-
Richard Nixon.
Over.
No, because he got caught. This is a funny thing about Richard Nixon. In his first bid for, because he was a senator for California, and he was inducted in a scandal about taking bribes. And it wasn't like big cash bribe; it was just like little like favors here and there. But that shit came out, and then Nixon came out publicly. It was like, "Yeah, I took bribes, but I returned everything back and all this stuff." So like, I don't know. And he came back into the office.
It's just a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
it's going to hurt his case at all.
No, like from a popularity standpoint, I don't think it would hurt his case.
Anyone who's following him at this point is just gonna keep following him no matter what.
The way people ride Tom Brady's dick is the way they ride Donald Trump's dick. It is crazy to me. Like, what can this guy do to lose followers? Because at this point, I don't think it's a single thing.
He could probably give like the keys to America to like North Korea or China, and everyone would be like, "Oh, like he's doing it for us."
He's a knucklehead.
Let's play some devil's advocate. Like,
Okay.
as of right now, his poll numbers have dropped in like the last year and a half, and while Ron DeSantis's have like climbed up, and like they're almost like neck and neck now, and they've like steadily dropped as more and more of the January 6th shit keeps coming out. And like that just keeps staying in the news, and everybody just it's that like weekly reminder that, you know, Trump was like okay with people chanting "Hang Mike Pence." You know, this is your weekly reminder.
Weekly reminder.
But yeah, like and as that's been in the headlines, like his numbers have dropped and dropped and dropped. But
Joe Biden.
the motherfucker can like, he's just like kind of has like this like magical touch where like sometimes like he'll take a bad situation and he'll flip it on its head and he'll make it work in his favor somehow. So
I almost feel like that numbers dropping is almost just because he's out of the spotlight, you know.
that could
Like
be
as soon
true.
as he
That could
announces
be
his
true.
bid and he starts getting a platform again, like all the debates and stuff, I think his numbers might go back up just
That
because
could be
everyone will be
true.
aware of him too.
Yeah.
And what better platform than Bro Tastes, the most patriotic, America First, China One podcast out there.
I don't think I'd ever want to have a you know what? I take that back because I always try to see both sides. And it would be interesting to have a conversation with him if you could actually have a conversation with him. You know, not just him talking at you for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Who's one person we would bar from this
That
platform?
is not allowed on here?
Not allowed. If we could have any guest, even by any means, how small we are to how big we are, we can have any guest. Who is the one person we would not allow? Me?
Probably Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby?
Yeah, he's a real knucklehead.
Damn.
I wouldn't
didn't
want-
consider about Bill Cosby.
I wouldn't want to have him on.
That's a good one. He's a bad guy.
Yeah, he's a really bad guy. I would not want to talk to him at all.
I was gonna say Prince Mohammed Al Jahabir, the guy that killed the Prince of Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
who didn't kill Jamal Khashoggi.
You mean Mohammed bin Salman?
I don't like to say his name.
God damn it, Phil. This is what I tell you.
I don't like to give
Fucking
him
learn your
respect.
shit.
I don't like to give him respect.
Like MBS, like the most easy of the prince's names to learn.
MBS?
Yeah,
Mohammed, is
MBS or Mohammed bin Salman.
Mohammed bin
I'm
Salman.
over here like breaking my brain. Who the fuck is this dude talking about? God.
Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to click in the microphone. But he not only killed Jamal Khashoggi,
This is your weekly reminder from Philip.
and he tried to take golf away from us. He started his own live tour. Live
Yo,
tour.
for real. What do you guys think about that?
Who did?
The Saudi Arabian, like
Prince.
the golf league. How they've just been.
Somebody break it down for me.
Couple
Are you
weeks
serious?
ago,
You haven't heard about it?
No.
Live golf.
ears,
How's that? Gotta go.
They gotta go. I can't hear
gotta-
shit.
Have you heard of Live Golf?
Of what golf?
Live LIV.
No.
So Live Golf is this Saudi Arabian golf league where they're essentially like buying the best golfers in the world.
literally.
Yeah,
Poaching
like,
them.
They're from anywhere that they play, and they tell them, "Hey, come play for us. Here's $100 million."
And it got so bad that the PGA said that like any players that go to the LIV Saudi Arabia conference or tour or whatever are barred from the PGA, so they can never compete again. So this is like, for those who like golf, this is a big thing. But for those who like freedom, this is a threat beyond.
But I mean, can you blame them? Because like if you're golfing and there's really only like 4 guys who are gonna win, so you'll make your money on sponsorships and for competing. But if you're not winning the grand prize, then you're kind of just hitting the ball as hard as you can and hoping for the best.
Yeah, and you do hear about how like PGA athletes have to pay for like a lot of stuff on their own. They're paying their own way through the sport a lot of the times. You know, it's not the same like team environment as say like soccer or football, where like they have a facility, they show up, they put like it's a little bit more of a punch in, punch out sort of. Yeah,
you're really only getting paid for the performance.
Yeah.
And unless, like I said, unless you're winning, then that's how you get the big money. So if like they're getting paid to do what they love, and an athlete's career, I mean, golfing is a lot different, but an athlete's career really isn't that long. So if you're able to get paid $100 million and you're like, I'm not able to compete in PGA anymore, I wasn't making money over there anyway.
Even golfers at like a professional level, like just the years and tear on their bodies, just pivotal hip swinging can cause some like back. Didn't Tiger Woods get a bunch of like surgery on his back and leg?
That was because of a car accident.
The leg was a car accident, but I swear he like got his back fused because he just kept swinging so hard and like something about that. I know he got his eyes lasered to make himself.
This guy knows about swinging hard.
I love Blasians. Blasians are my favorite. That's my kink, guys.
That's where he likes to swing to.
Blasians?
Yeah.
Black Asians? Or Asian blacks? I don't know what the proper term is. But yeah. But with the whole FBI raid and all that stuff, I think that it's gonna make him much stronger.
Yeah.
But only due time will tell. One thing that is pretty funny about the whole thing is that on the fringe side of the internet, the QAnon people are trying to pin this on Matt Gaetz. Who's like
Matt Gaetz?
That's great.
I hope so too.
That's great.
I hate Matt Gaetz.
Let them cannibalize each other.
Yes. Because supposedly the FBI had a tip that they were supposed to look for a Steele dossier, and they went specifically to this one room and got the briefcase out. So they're like, oh, clearly there was an informant from the FBI. And they're like, oh, it's Matt Gaetz. It's clearly Matt Gaetz.
I think they're right. I mean,
I hope so.
I mean, like,
I hope so,
yo,
dude.
I mean, like, the dude has that charge where he got caught with like a 15-year-old girlfriend.
And
it wouldn't be like
Allegedly.
Okay, allegedly.
He tried to allegedly get Tucker Carlson involved too. He's like, Tucker, you remember?
You met my girlfriend.
You met her. Tucker's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Smart. The smartest thing Tucker Carlson has ever done.
So I hope that comes out to be truth or some truth behind that, and that'd be pretty cool. I hate Matt Gaetz, but on to some lighter news.
You went to go see Dragon Ball last night.
I did with the wise one right here.
With Cesare Salad.
Yes.
What did you guys think of it?
Honestly, canonically speaking, for story-wise, it was definitely worth watching because it explains the thickness of Bulma. How Bulma in like media pop culture just keeps getting just thicker and bustier and all that stuff. Now there's actually a reason why she's looking like that in Dragon Ball Z.
Which is
they devoted a whole scene like there's fan service of like Bulma looking for like stuff, and it just shows her ass for like a good 5 seconds, just going back and forth, and then she's like, "Oh, I found it." She's trying to call, her husband. But canonically speaking, there's a reason why she's.
What is that reason? Are you going to reveal it or not?
No. Don't reveal it. Yeah,
spoilers.
Spoiler. Overall, worth watching.
Worth watching.
So I'm not a big Dragon Ball Z fan, right? Like I haven't actually kept up with it or anything like that. And I will say this, just in my point of view, if you haven't kept up with it and you're just going with like a friend or something like that, you can easily catch up with whatever's going on.
You'll be able to watch and be like,
maybe a couple questions here and there, but like other than that, it was okay. It's Dragon Ball.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're like a big fan of it, there's callbacks to specific scenes and moments where like they really lay on it, like, oh, that's like what Frieza did in season 2. It's like, yeah, cool. I was pumped. I was like, oh, that's definitely a callback to Piccolo.
some dude started talking to you at the end of the show, like just randomly came up to you and started talking to you about all like the Dragon Ball Z stuff.
I swear, I attract the weirdest people to come talk to me. I was talking to you guys.
You're talking to us, and he just butted it into the
He
conversation.
just butted in. He's like, yeah, but Krillin's eyebrows did really good, actually.
Honestly, though, that's
He was just talking about Krillin's eyebrows. It's like,
then I zoned out. I just
And now
left
he
the
has
video.
no eyebrows.
oh, in the movie, they give him a glow up.
They
They give Krillin.
Krillin got a glow up.
Glow up,
About
doggy.
time. Fucking.
And I was like, damn,
cute.
his eyebrows are nice. And then he comes in, like, whoa, really? He's his glasses and like his hair. He's got hair now. He is weird.
They put in a pretty good quip with him too, like where like Bulma comes in and is like, "Oh, I've got the strongest fighters in the planet."
Yeah.
Oh, and I also got Krillin.
I love Krillin. They always do Krillin so dirty.
They do.
The punching bag.
He had a little like cool second little flying scene that it's towards the end, but when he jumps out on that,
How
Yeah.
dare you spoil that?
it's badass. it's badass. I definitely recommend watching it for all those who love anime and big thick anime girls.
All right. Well, I'm buying 4 tickets tonight because I want no one near me.
You can get cuddle seats.
No. I
Not
just
that we got cuddle seats. Just to specify, we did not get cuddle seats.
They did.
Me and Phil were cuddling.
We did not.
They
Yeah.
did get
would you say
cuddle seats.
the movie was magical?
No.
See, folks, that's how we do comedy here. That's a cold forward.
Exactly.
A red herring, if you may.
Exactly. So
I don't think that's a red herring, but okay.
Yeah, it's not a red herring.
yeah, Phil, take it away.
Speaking of red herrings, in a couple of weeks, we got the big anticipation of the Rings of Power. Rings of Power. Thank you. I'm taking a little drink from my elixir gin.
What is your guys' relationship with that series?
So personally, I watched Lord of the Rings when I saw the first movie like when it was right on VHS, and I remember thinking like, oh, I'm just confused because like, you get really hyped up for the movie, and at the end they just keep walking, and you're like, what the fuck? I was like, I can't remember how old I was, but I gotta be like 10 or or all around that age. And I just remember being like so disappointed at the end of the movie because what the fuck? Like I was just following these guys for 3 hours and then nothing. Like here I was thinking they were gonna return the ring and it's like nope, they're just on some like ashy mountain and they just keep walking. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess this is how it goes.
Yeah, you're going to need to wait another 6 more hours to get to the mountain.
Dude, you're not wrong. The majority of that like whole series and universe is just Gandalf walking around with people. Whether that be the Hobbit or
Right.
like in
dwarves
the
and
original
whatnot.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is that Lord of the Rings as a series is a sequel to The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Like they wrote The Hobbit first, and that's like a pretty short story if I'm correct.
Yes, it's supposed to be a children's story. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he ended up writing this like fucking.
Actually, fun fact, if you guys want to know, but he never actually intended to write The Hobbit. The only reason he wrote it was because he used to make it as a verbal bedtime story for his children. And at one point, his Christopher, the guy who's now writing all the books and stuff like that, he started picking up on inconsistencies that Tolkien was talking about. So, like, for example, he said something about like a red door is actually blue last time, and like Tolkien was like, "Damn the boy," and he started writing it down. So the only reason he wrote The Hobbit was because his son started picking up on inconsistencies during the
Story time.
story time.
Interesting.
So this was just a good dad.
Yeah, he was just a good dad who turned out to be a great author, and created this like amazing universe that people to this day are still.
What a
like,
story.
There's a bunch of games now based on
Yeah.
them, and I mean that's why we brought Caesar in because Caesar is a Lord of the Rings expert, right, Caesar?
I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I am a big nerd.
He's a big Tolkien man.
A Tolkien head, as I like to.
Tolkien head. But anticipation of that. But as much as like the beautiful world that Tolkien created, there's been a lot of backlash.
I was about to ask, Phil,
Yeah.
can you fill us in with
yeah.
the reactionary side of the internet?
Oh, thank you very much.
The Reddit side.
Reddit, a little 4chan, a little 8chan, if you know.
The Reddit
Well, people are
incels?
gonna just take what they see and then try to blow it up. And I feel like most of the time there is no outrage. It'll just be like, for example, there were black dwarves in the trailer that was released a couple months ago, and people, again on Reddit and other medias, were like complaining. But it's like, who the fuck cares? And I feel like part of that isn't even them complaining. It's just like trying to get a reaction. And then once there is a reaction, then a news article will make a fucking video or something off of that reaction.
Like a hit piece going on. Like,
Right.
can you believe that their views is like this and all that stuff?
So there's it's pretty funny because I'm actually part of a couple groups of like I'm just on Facebook about Lord of the Rings, and like that was what people were upset about was the colored dwarf or whatever. But like the people who were like actually like fans of it were more upset that the fact that she didn't have a beard. She did it because canonically they actually have beards.
Beard ladies have
Dwarf
ladies
yeah.
have beards.
You see, that's like a real fan who's. Who the
We were
fuck?
upset at the fact that she was, we were representing different races and stuff like that. We were upset that she didn't have any facial hair.
You're like, how? That doesn't make any sense.
That's not true to the story.
Right. So
So there's some backlash about that, about the culture appropriation and diversity, because in Tolkien's world, they're all supposed to be fair skinned.
Wait, homie, can you like flesh those terms out? Because like you just throw them out there, you know? What do you mean, like cultural appropriation? People were. How does that have to do with?
Honestly,
Lord
I'm
of
a
the
little
Rings?
confused here too.
Yeah,
Aren't
you can't just throw
aren't the
three
elves,
terms
Aren't
out.
the elves described as like fair skin, high and mighty, and all that stuff? Most beautiful creatures.
What does that
ever?
have to
What does that have to do with cultural appropriation?
Wait, wait, did I say that wrong?
No, what?
No, you said it right, but I don't think it's what
yeah,
you mean.
I don't think.
They got black elves now, right?
And what does that have to do with cultural appropriation? What culture are they appropriating?
Elfish?
this fictionary race.
I mean, Luis, you represent yourself as an elf at the moment.
Yeah.
Don't you feel a little bit of? I know as a dwarf, black ladies without beards, I'm pissed.
I guess I can kind of see how you're making the connection. And what you're saying is they're just putting in black people to put in black people without them being part of the story. And so that kind of is cultural appropriation to an extent. Like they're just adding these people to get like a different demographic. On the other hand,
See, I thought.
I don't think that that's a correct use of the term.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't think you know the definition of that
still
word,
lost.
bro. I don't think you know the definition of that word.
Yeah, that's the dwarf in me coming out. Ignorant, bigoted dwarf.
I think the potion might have been a little
A little strong for
He's the
him.
only one drinking here.
It was a +5 strength and a -10 intelligence.
my constitution went down.
Exactly. No, but I mean, who the fuck cares is really my opinion, because if you're a fan of the series, you're not looking for like, oh, a white elf. Like you're just looking for the story and for the plot to be cool, you know what I mean? Like you can say the same thing about Black Panther 2. They're introducing I think his name is Tlalco Huerta, or is that actually
I think that's the actor.
that's-
I think that's the
that's
actor.
the raptor?
Bro,
no, his name.
That's TMI, bro. That's
Shout out TMI. No. His name is like super.
I think it is the
He's like a Mexican,
I think
right?
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's fully Mexican. But what I'm saying is like, it's really cool that they're introducing a Mexican actor, but his race in the movie is like sea people. And so all of a sudden, you don't get to see the same backlash of like, well, they're sea people. They're supposed to be white. And it's like, first of all, he's a mutant from the sea. Who the fuck cares what he is?
Yeah.
Like, this is a fake. I don't know why people get so upset.
It's literally a fake universe.
His name is Tenoch Huerta. So I wasn't that
okay.
far off. So fuck you.
But you said Tlaloc, who's like a former guest, bro. Yeah, that's why I'm like, bro, what?
I wasn't that far off. And it's funny that I couldn't pronounce his name throughout the entire episode, and then I just pronounced it then, just perfect. Tenoch Huerta. But he's the guy from Narcos, and he's a super cool actor, and it's cool that they're like representing him in Black Panther. Like they haven't really been introducing a lot of Mexicans into the MCU, and like, is it silly that I'm excited for it? Yeah, but it's also cool because like, oh, one of me's on the screen. You know what I mean?
Well, that's exactly why they do it, just to bring in more people and bring in more fans, which me being a fan of Lord of the Rings, like I could care less as to what color the elves are going to be represented as, because I mean, that's cool as fuck too, to see if there's a Mexican elf somewhere around there, like even if it's in the background and I'm watching the show.
Dude, a little sexy
and, like,
Latina elf, bro.
exactly.
Ooh.
Yeah, so like
Some little AOC elf.
But what I'm saying is like,
He's working the stables.
right, it's cool because like white people have had representation forever.
Yeah.
Every goddamn movie.
Forever is so long enough that it would take other people's like John Wayne would dress up as like Genghis Kong and just like do like
That's what I was gonna say, bro. Like,
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
like nobody has trouble with all these like movies where it's like some lone white samurai that gets dropped off in Japan.
That's cultural appropriation.
Saves the whole island or some shit.
Well, I mean,
He's
this
the
might
last
be
samurai.
off topic here, kind of. But like, did you guys hear how who was it? James Franco who's gonna be playing Zapata?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Get the fuck out
Yeah,
of here.
yeah, and like I forgot who it was. That dude that
John
plays.
Does he
Leguizamo.
speak Spanish?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
James Franco? Well, I mean, I'm sure he's been inside of Spanish people.
But I mean, it's stuff like that, you know.
Yeah,
It's like people should be more outraged about that kind of thing. Where
Yeah.
It's like there's so many other good actors that are Mexican
Honestly,
descent.
that's a historic figure, bro. That's like
Yeah,
that's worse. That's worse.
like a George Washington.
But
type
as you can
figure.
tell, no one knew about this.
And that is a little bit much.
But everyone knows about the dwarf, but no one knows about this.
everybody who knows. Jesus. No, I think it's pretty. I don't know. People just get outraged over the reason to be outraged, but then again, when like it comes something like that, no one bats an eye. Like, oh, that'll be a fun movie to watch.
The Lord of the Rings universe is expansive though. It has like warm areas of the universe. It has like mountainous. Like, do people think that I guess evolution
Only light skin.
Yeah, that people didn't develop a tan, you know, in the desert. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
There wouldn't be some sort of the world.
Yeah,
They had no sunscreen.
like
back
vitamin
then.
D and the sun isn't a thing in that universe. Like, what the fuck?
He does say at some point about the hobbits that there is a race of hobbits that actually end up being a little bit darker skinned. He doesn't say how dark, but he does imply that they are darker skinned. So I mean, obviously, if there's hobbits that are darker
So
skinned, there's
Mexicans.
gotta be dwarves and elves that are.
Mexicans and Filipinos.
Right.
Yeah.
There we go. That's the representation you get, Phil.
So out of 5 bros, it's also super expensive.
Yeah. The production for the show is
Yeah, we haven't
crazy.
even honestly we haven't talked much about the
Super.
production side.
I think it's the most. I was gonna say out of 5
Interesting
bros,
side, yeah.
how excited are you? But we should also talk about how expensive this shit is.
Because like it's the most expensive TV show produced now. Just for the first season, they clocked in $468 million for the first season,
And I believe there's supposed to be 5 seasons.
and that's going to cost them over a total of $1 billion to produce all that. That's because
I would think it's
Bezos,
more, yeah.
or as we call him,
Daddy Bezos, who Kim Kardashian allegedly cheated on Pete Davidson with.
Shut the fuck up.
Why?
There was an article this last week that said Kim Kardashian cheated on Skeet Davidson with Jeff Bezos. Whether that's true or not, I have no idea. But
More like Jeff Bozo. What kind of guy would ruin a good relationship like that?
house wrecker.
Yeah.
I mean, he's getting ripped. He's taking T. He's on TRT. He's fucking.
I give him like
he's
10 years. Bro.
I love how like Elon Musk and like Jeff Bezos are so like polar opposite. One goes to the moon, the other one's like, I'll go to Mars. One gets super fit and like, drinks tea. The other one's like on a yacht getting like just truck buddy out or whatever. You seen the pictures of Elon Musk on the yacht?
No.
Oh, looking all pasty.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
tough.
his skin is like a reflective like disc or something.
And this is the guy that's like fathering most of the people in Silicon Valley. Like he said, like so many affairs and so many illegitimate children. It's crazy. First Grimes,
I
that
cannot.
bastard.
I cannot see any. I don't see. Oh, there he is.
Just type in Elon Musk yacht.
My favorite thing about Musk is that his dad is dating his step.
His
daughter.
adopted daughter.
Elon Musk's dad started dating his own adopted stepdaughter.
Did you hear his excuse though?
Yeah, that he wants to repopulate the earth or something.
He was single for 20 some years.
Bro, that's not a good excuse. You should have dated. You should have just gone and found somebody.
Damn.
Put yourself out there.
That is hilarious. Wow, yeah, he's fucking pasty as shit. He is like shining, like when the sun is hitting his skin.
Dude, that's a whiteboard, bro.
That's the body of a scientist.
No, I
That's
agree.
a dry erase board right there.
So we got two of the most influential, most like richest people on earth just competing, throwing their money around, and like Bezos like, you know what?
Throwing their money around, it seems like they have a pretty clear goal. Space, baby, Elysium.
Whoa.
Leaving all the fucking losers here.
Leaving all the pores.
But before he gets to the main goal, we got to produce the best TV show out there that rivals a Game of Thrones,
True.
according to Bezos.
But that's the thing. It's like so many things are getting scrapped. How do we know that this won't get scrapped after a while?
Yeah.
Well, that's what our fear is like some of the fan community. It's like they're throwing so much money at it, and they're just gonna serve as like a golden shit.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Honestly, kind of like EA Sports.
EA Sports.
You know, like,
it's in the game.
They have that monopoly power, so they know they can just put out like a golden shit after golden shit every year. And like they know you might not buy everyone, but like every third year you'll probably buy one.
Yeah.
Dude.
Nostalgia.
Oh, what? They get you for every year?
Well, yeah, obviously.
They do?
FIFA 23? Are you kidding me?
Oh, man,
How am I not going to get
You're so
that?
gullible, bro. You're so gullible.
Dude,
at least
that
when we-
You can't skip a year?
no, that tea is making its way through it right now. Like, my tummy's a rumbling
Dude,
right now.
I was feeling it. I was feeling it. It's
I can't even sit here still. I'm like, oh.
Dude, maybe we should show the people the box and they can tell us
We'll
if it's
definitely
gonna
post-
interfere with
Oh,
your
yeah.
medication.
We'll definitely post a picture of it. Oh my God. Like, I don't even have to poop. I'm just like, it feels like a blender is going off in my stomach. Like,
That's how you know it's working.
I'm sweating. Like, I'm taking this fucking.
sweating. Dude, so am I.
I'm sweating too, though. It's,
Are you-
it's the.
I think it's the lights.
Are you sure that you didn't get the tea from Wuhan? Does it say Wuhan in the back?
It said does prevent coronavirus on
That's-
it, but it does have a monkey on it, so I don't know. I don't know if it gives me something else.
It prevents coronavirus, but gives you monkeypox.
Yeah, well, let's talk about some magical moments.
Oh yes.
Oh, before. Out of 5 bros, how excited are you?
Ooh.
Personally, 3 out of 5 bros. I'm excited, but like Caesar said, I'm worried that they'll start this off and then not end it because, and I don't think that's gonna happen because The Boys is now on season 3, guaranteed for I think 4 and 5, including spinoffs, and The Boys is also on Amazon Prime, and so Amazon have a lot of money to do this shit, and a lot of people have Amazon Prime already. They're gonna continue to watch. And the thing that worries me is that another show on Amazon Prime, Invincible, which is an animated show, one of my favorite comic runs of all time. And it seems like they're going to fill that all the way to the end. So that's my worry. They're going to start this, and because they have so much other things on the plate, they might start, chopping these things out.
Yeah. Try to reach deadlines and quotas and not divide the most attention to this.
Exactly.
That's stellar cast for the Invincible too. J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons,
Come on
Stephen
now.
Yeun. I mean, it's a big, I think...
J.K. Simmons is the guy from Spider-Man.
Whiplash.
Whiplash.
Yeah.
Pictures.
Give me more pictures of Spider-Man.
Have we pointed out though that the show is going to be non-canonical? Like,
No, we haven't. It's
like,
not even.
It's
that
not.
it's not like
It's
a
not to do with the
continuation.
movies at all?
Yeah.
Nope. It's
You didn't know that?
It's
Oh,
inspired.
no. Doesn't it take place... Or am I thinking about the Game of Thrones?
Like this,
Caesar could fill us in.
break it down for.
We're talking. Okay, so about Rings of Power.
Lord
the Rings of Power.
Well, it is canon. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be based off of the Second Age. So there's
Off the appendices, right? Like
similar and
yeah.
That's my favorite part of the Bible.
Yeah.
But doesn't the Rings of Power take place way before
Before
the,
The Hobbit,
Way
yes.
before, yes. Everything.
So if you break it down, I guess technically you got 4 ages technically that happen, right? So the
Yeah.
first age you got like the whole beginning of the earth and all the stuff that how it gets created, and actually
Bible.
That's kind of like my favorite part, honestly,
Yeah.
because it's actually got a lot more stories in there.
It's
and
got like the
whatnot.
Genesis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
of
basically,
Middle
and how
Earth.
everything came to be from where we know of the movies.
It's kind of like Dragon Ball Z. Before everybody gets super fucking powerful, they're like, you know what?
Well, actually, it's
And
the
all-
opposite.
all the autocrats
It's
and
actually the
stuff?
opposite.
It's
the
all
first
the
stage,
powers at the
everyone's
beginning,
powerful.
bro. Everyone's a god.
Yeah, and then it gets diminished towards the end of the ages. But the Rings of
Yeah,
Power is supposed
Adam
to be on
and
the
Eve, bro.
second age.
Adam and Eve, brother.
Should have kept it that way.
Not Adam and Steve. Did you guys see this stupid... I'm sorry. Did you guys see this really stupid picture that was going around this week? It was of a plane with 2 wings. And it was like, this is why marriage should be male and female. And it was like... The next picture over was like a wing with just one side.
So like the first picture represents like both wings, male, female, male, woman, and then the next picture is like both wings are on one side, saying both male and male. Like, see how this doesn't work out?
And then the next one was female, and it was just the straight cockpit. Like it was just, I was like, what? This doesn't make any sense. Like, this is such a terrible analogy. Didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But you know that guy felt real smart, bro.
He's like, I'll fucking show these libtards.
I bet you that was passed around Facebook all day. It's just all the mothers.
Yeah, amen.
Tell him, Steve.
Praise the Lord.
Just like,
But, with-
like in the Bible.
Now knowing that
So is it?
It is
this
canonical.
This dude was telling me that it wasn't though.
No, it is canonical.
The Amazon doesn't own the IP to like be
No,
an-
it's not
For
to-
the first
somewhere,
stage. For the first stage. They only own like supposedly they only own like parts of it for like the second age, which is it's in its own. It still has a lot of cool stories in there.
Yeah, because it like they put that on the trailer. It says like based
Inspired.
on or inspired by.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like-
so I was showing them. He actually came over last night, and I was showing them my book, The Similarian.
Research.
The first stage. The book like thickness is maybe about yay big, right? And then you only got the second age, which is maybe like yay big in there. But they do expand on that later with other books that they go into more detail of the little stories that are in there for the second age. And I'm assuming that's what they're gonna do. The only thing that kind of confused me was that in the trailer they show the two great trees, which is all in the first stage. So I'm confused as to how they're going to show that if they can only do the second age. But
Yeah, and then they own the rights, character rights to some of the characters, but not all of them, because hobbits aren't like publicly domain.
Yeah.
So they had to go through like Harfoots and shit like that. I don't know if Harfoots are canonically in like the first, second, third, or fourth age. Oh, the Lord of the Rings. Oh.
I assume they pop up around the second age. I think I don't know the years exactly, but yeah.
The Hardfoots. But there's no Tales of Hobbits. Maybe that could be season 2. Maybe Harfoots
Yeah,
get together
you
with
know,
dwarves and start
right.
making hobbits.
This is season 1, so maybe after the success of season 1, they're gonna be like, all right, they're allowed to use all the names that they want to do and
That's a
go
good
from
point,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, I
But-
don't know, but as far as I know, it's supposed to be canon. Like
Yeah.
it's as close as they can, I guess. Like again, Tolkien's not like wasn't. I don't think he was like. I might get some hate for this, but I don't think he was like the greatest writer. Like the Silmarillion was like a lot. Literally, it's just a history book.
Yeah.
like you're reading a history book about like this.
It's basically a textbook of
Yeah.
a fantasy world.
Yeah, so like there's not a lot of dialogue between characters. There is some that's important, but there isn't a lot. So
Yeah.
like that's also my concern about it. So
Yeah.
like you were asking about ratings, how excited I am. Like I'm a decent 4.5.
Yeah.
Just because I'm really like cautious about how they're gonna approach this and how they're gonna like end up like
cautiously optimistic.
yeah, because like it's hard to see how they're gonna come up with a like an hour or however long the episodes is of like people
Yeah.
talking when there isn't that much in the books about it. You know?
Yeah, no, for
I
sure.
feel the dialogue going on.
Yeah.
Personally, I think I'm pumped for the Rings of Power.
Yeah.
Just because of the amount of money that they went into this, CGI is gonna be breathtaking. So no matter how shitty the production is, they're gonna have breathtaking scenes. Just a beautiful OST, beautiful soundtrack to go with it.
And I'm sure you'll tell us all about the beautiful girls you'll find.
Oh,
All the
yeah.
beautiful elves.
And
of
then
course.
at the same time, I'd be like, there shouldn't be that many black elves running around. I don't know if I like this anymore. But Pablo, since you're a bit of a Tolkien expert, can you break down like our characteristics for like or what we're dressed as? I guess because like I'm a dwarf, I'm supposed to be like Gimli, the foreman, right? My characteristics are what, like greed. I'm a greedy guy.
I mean, they get corrupted and they're a little bit.
Dwarves are greedy. Yeah.
They end up some of it sort of yes they get given rings of power, and because of that they gain wealth, and that kind of gives them into their greed, which later on brings dragons and shit to their domains.
Yeah. No good deed goes unpunished.
I love that.
And if I remember correctly, Aragorn's like the last human king or some shit like that. Or?
He's the king of the Dunedain, and
And that's what Juan's supposed to be right now, right?
Yeah.
The king of the Duna what?
This is accurate.
No.
Damn it.
you could have just came in regular clothes. and it
You
would've
do
been
look
fine.
more like Strider, which is Aragorn, but before he gets revealed as Aragorn,
That's my favorite part of Aragorn when he was like
like the Ranger. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Aragorn the Ranger's the best
Yeah.
Ranger.
You gotta like put it up and you have a pipe and just kind of like sit there and
Yeah, you know what you look like? You look like the scouts from Attack on Titan.
Bro,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
modern day.
Yeah, there you go.
Just vaping. just hitting the
Modern day
pen.
Strider.
All right, fair enough.
And
then-
Let's just
Luis
see
over
how
here
this
is supposed to be Legolas.
Yes,
A
he's
high elf.
Legolas. No, he's not a high elf.
Not a high elf.
He's just a regular low elf.
It's just a
Dummy.
blue collar elf.
yeah, just a lunch pail.
I forget what kind of elf he is, but he's supposed
He's
to be
from
from
the he's
Mirkwood.
from the Midwest.
From the Merc.
Yeah, exactly. A real hard worker.
Honestly, yeah, it's about the Midwest.
Hell yeah.
The Midwest of elves. We fit right in. All right, with that being said, what are some magical moments in real life that you guys have had? experienced. For me, I can go, I'll lead this off. For me, it was seeing a son get reunited with his dad when I was 11. He was lost. I've told this story on the podcast before, but kid was lost. We helped him. We called like the phone book, the yellow pages, found his dad. His dad came home to where I was living at the time in the community area. And just seeing him connect with his dad after not being with him all day. And he's just like 5 years old and he's terrified. And like, that was pretty cool to be able to witness that in person. Cause like, you don't realize it when you're like 11 or 12 and even like growing up, but you're like, no, he was super lost.
Yeah.
Like, he would have been fucked. Like he would have never seen his dad again. And, thankfully we were able to contact his dad. His dad drove up to where we were living and he was like on the complete other side of town. And this is like 2003. So like phones aren't really a thing, and it's not like we can just be like, oh, what's his Facebook? We'll message him. It's kind of like we literally had to go through the yellow pages, and a 5-year-old doesn't know anything about his life.
Yeah.
He just knows his name, and you're like, what's your dad's name? And he's like, Jesus, and you're like, there's 10 in the phone book. So then finally we called, and we got him connected.
Dude.
So that was a really heartwarming moment.
The reunion.
The reunion.
Reunion. What the fuck was I saying there?
The reunion.
The reunion is beautiful. Could be prevented like a Taken situation.
For sure.
The father could have been Liam Neeson.
He would have been fucked.
Yeah.
You prevented like a lot of heartache.
Yeah, and the dad's like, it's like 4 o'clock. Like, where's my son? Like, it's that time. And so thankfully we were able to get him.
What about you, Phil?
Mine's pretty heavy. I'm gonna save mine for the end.
All right. What about you, Juan?
I would say
You just got married?
yes. I did just get married,
Which
and
is a
it's
miracle upon itself.
It's kind of along those lines. When I got married, Ala wrote a letter, like a love letter that I was gonna read in front of the camera, right? Mm-hmm. And like it just kind of reminded me about one of the things we used to do as a date that was honestly just fucking magical. Like we used to sneak out. We used to sneak out, and we would hit up this like sledding hill at like 1 a.m. and just kind of like lay out a picnic towel and just kind of like basically observe the stars. And since we're out in the country, like we get just like a pretty awesome view of like the night sky. And it just, I remember that she wrote about it and it reminded me about it. And it just was one of those dates where it was like, honestly, we'll probably be talking about it when we're like 90, like it was just like it just had that like little bit of magic in the air. Usually like the night sky was like just totally clear, and we never had like any bad weather or anything like that. And honestly, yeah, I would say I would recommend that to anybody like who's like looking for like a low-key romantic thing to do. Just like go out and observe the stars. It doesn't have to be on a hill or in a park, and it was an incredible magical time. How about you, Cesar?
Before you get to Caesar's, just to interject into that, I love that. I tried doing that, and then I was confronted by a creature of the night over by Lake Peshawakawaki at that state park. So you'd be very careful trying to be romantic.
You were going in the woods, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I went on a hill. That's like the road is right there.
It's scary, doggy.
You went into like a
dense wooded area,
like a natural, like preserved wooded area. Yeah. Of course you're gonna run into weird shit.
The creature of the night. Cesar?
I guess mine's kind of lame here because like, not really much of a. I'm kind of an emo pessimist here, so
sure.
Don't
That's
really
cool
magic.
too.
It can be. I was gonna tell my witch story. Like,
You had a witch story?
yeah, but I didn't want to lead with that because it didn't feel like magic. It's more like dark magic. So if you got something like
hold
that.
on, is your
Well, no,
family
I-
curse?
When I was a little kid, I told you guys like in Mexico, they have these giant steel doors and gates, and I was like 3 and managed to open all of them by myself when I can't do it consciously, and was in the middle of the street like at like 4 a.m. or like 2 a.m. just chilling there. And that's like a common thing that people say that happens to kids. that like witches like will like lure you out at night, and I would wake up with like random like suck like hickeys all over my body and shit. So yeah, like
Bro, were you
was a fun
touched as a
time.
kid?
I mean, shit. If they were, it was like some
By a
demon motherfucker. Like,
Bro, I've done some research in the past 4 years, and that sounds like an Epstein case right there. I don't know, brother.
no, I wasn't in Florida, so I think I'm clear.
Wait, I got stories from Mexico too. I guess. Or
I
something
mean,
like that. But
whatever magic you got.
I think I'll go with like
Whatever
a
magic
little more
you got,
lighthearted one
yeah.
first. Then maybe we'll go into the other stuff.
Yes.
But I'm a big concert goer, so like I go to a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
concerts and
beautiful.
stuff like that. And there's this my favorite band. One of the bands I saw was Enter Shikari. They ended up doing like a reunion for like not reunion. They're still together, but they did a 10-year anniversary for one of like their first albums. And they have like this slow song that they have in there, and literally everyone in the crowd just kind of like was singing their hearts out, and we were all like hugging like just like
Oh,
this,
all right.
you know, the crowd and
That is fucking magical.
Yeah, that is
And
cool.
I got teary, so like that was
is
like really
cool.
cool. Like seeing my favorite band upstage singing that song that they haven't done in 10 years.
Yeah.
and
Damn.
seeing that was like it was cool.
Yeah, honestly, that is magic. Like
That
seeing
is
your,
magical.
Your like nostalgic like favorite musician do a song that they don't do a lot. You know, there's
And
some magic
everybody's singing in
that, yeah.
arms. No, it's beautiful.
What's your dark magic moment?
So I guess I'll lead off by saying that I'm an atheist, so like I don't believe in any of this
Also
anymore.
me. Also me.
So like any of this stuff, I kind of just write it off as like a little kid being like paranoid and shit, and also my parents being paranoid and shit. But apparently in Mexico, my mom used to say that I was actually embrujado.
Yeah.
I guess right.
Drunk?
No,
Emborracho? Emborracho?
He was
He was
cursed.
cursed.
bewitched
Oh.
or cursed or whatever it was. Because
Bro,
like,
you do look kind of cursed.
That's awful.
You talking about me or him?
There's some like fucked up like little thing like speckle in your eye. You know.
I thought you were saying he looks fucked up for a
it's the ring of
second.
power that I'm wearing. But no, my mom used to say that I would just start convulsing in my sleep and shit like that. And no matter what they did, they would not be able to wake me up. And I guess my mom said that the only thing that would get me to wake up was they put a little santo underneath my my pillow. And as soon as that santo, the saint, would like touch my pillow underneath, I would just calm down. And then like I would be able to wake up. And I'm just like, I don't know how much I believe of it. You know, obviously I was
Both you
asleep.
motherfuckers are possessed. dude.
Bro, I don't think you should not believe your parents, bro. Like,
Well-
like as I've gotten older, the more I realize like there are a lot of things we don't know how to explain, and like we love to see just like chalk it up to paranoia.
Black and
So,
white.
just
yeah.
Yeah.
this is as bad as I am because like so the most recent thing I can remember, and my brother Johnny can attest to this, but we were getting ready in Clinton. We were going to school, and me as the oldest, I was supposed to get them all up and shit like that. But we were being late to the school bus, and I was just rushing them out of the door. We had like this like cabinet next to the door, and something just went flying out of there. Like literally, me and my brother's side it went flying. And my brother looked at me and was like, "Did you see that?" And I was like, "Yeah, but we're gonna be late for the bus. Let's go."
Holy
And literally, we just went out, closed the door, and went to the bus. Didn't speak about it ever again.
Fuck you, Casper. I don't got time for you.
And I'll tell you what, after that, never experienced anything else.
All
That
right.
is crazy.
Probably some wandering soul of like a school teacher or something.
You guys are gonna be late to the bus. Hurry the fuck up.
Just throwing shit at you.
All right, Phil, bring it home.
I'm gonna bring it home. Now, this is gonna be a little bit of a trigger warning. I will be talking about suicide. So, if you guys are feeling down and out, call the crisis hotline 1-800-CRISIS 1-800-CRISIS.
They changed it, didn't they?
Google
Well,
that
you guys
shit.
are fucked, and I'm sorry. You can come support Bro Tastes before. Yeah. Okay. So Pablo and I, Cesar, have been friends for a long, long time, right? One of my first concerts I ever went to was with this guy. Band camp, if you know, you know. It was, well, I'm going to talk about it, of course. It was a concert here, like a rock concert, right? And they changed that to Sonic Boom later on. It's still in Janesville. But for those who know me, I like to max out on food, right? Before I do anything big. So we went to McDonald's and stocked
Yeah.
up on 8 egg burritos. And this is back when they were $1.
You said
There's
8?
nothing magical about the story, by the way.
Well, I'm gonna tie it up.
You said 8?
8. Yep.
God.
This is back when they were $1, so it was feasible. It was like, wow, that makes
Isn't
sense.
it like 2 for $1?
Yeah.
It was 2 for $1.
Back when
Damn.
Daddy Trump was in office.
God. Damn.
Egg burritos were toasty and nice. I stock up on them. We go with your family to the band camp and whatnot. And that transitions to me in like 2018, 2019. I was pretty down on my luck, pretty bad.
How? What?
I think it was 2018, right?
No, but how does this transition to
Okay,
that?
yeah. Wait, hold on. It's gonna be a ribbon on this weird story.
Yeah. Okay.
I tried to take my life in 2018 in the most dumb way possible. I tried to go into the woods and like hang myself, but I didn't know how to make a noose. So I went to McDonald's and I watched a video like how to make a noose and all that stuff. And I was pretty down. I was like, wow, it was pretty funny because like I didn't know how to like actually make a noose. So like I was watching this at McDonald's and getting ready, and I go out there. A police guy catches me and is like, "What are you doing out there?" It's like, because I'm having rope. I'm carrying the rope. I'm walking into the woods with rope in my hand. He's like, "Oh, what are you doing out there?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm." It's like he pulled me into his car, took me to the hospital, involuntary, and I'm in the waiting room. They're checking me up, making sure I'm okay and all that stuff. And I hear him outside. He's like flirting up with the nurses. Like, "Oh yeah, I just saved this kid's life." I was like, I'm over here just in the rooms. It's like. You do what you gotta do, man. You do what you gotta do. And so like I'm there in the hospital involuntarily because I just try to take my own life. And I call this guy and Michael and a couple of other friends. They come out there to see me. Another friend of mine, a good friend, got there a little bit late. So like as soon as he got there, I'm in the ambulance. I went to the psychiatric ward for like a good week or so because. If you try to kill yourself, you're not right in the head. So I went to the psychiatric ward, and my friend Eli, quick shout out. He got there a little bit late, so like it was like a scene from a movie. I don't know if he was there with you. He wasn't there with us. No. Damn. I thought he was.
Never mind then.
But no, I was in the psychiatric ward out in Milwaukee for a good week, and had you and Michael come visit me a couple of times. It was pretty heartwarming. And when you're in a psychiatric ward, you don't have access to like real day food. So like I'm just stocking up on PB&J sandwiches and string cheese. It's like jail. You have like a rec room, and you're supposed to stay in your room like most of the time until it's like exercise time, and then So like I was pretty like I couldn't have my phone on me. I was just like, man, this sucks. I wish I was dead. What the fuck am I doing here? And then Eli came over. Snuck over an egg burrito filled with marijuana. There's dabs. They're called tinctures, right? It's like concentrated dabs. So he sprinkled dabs onto the egg burrito, snuck it into the psych ward.
Wait, bro, are they active when you eat it?
Yeah, tinctures. You know what tinctures are?
Oh, tincture.
Yeah, tinctures, my brother.
So he gave you an edible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
a really powerful one.
Real powerful in the egg burrito. And he brings that to the psych ward, sneaks it into my room. And he had his phone, so I'm like eating the egg burrito, and like I love WWE, and he was playing like a bunch of like Shawn Michaels highlights for me. I was like, so pumped. It was truly a beautiful, magical moment. I was on the verge of the abyss, and what brought me back was the heartwarming story of friends, egg burritos, and the heartbreak kid, Shawn Michaels.
That was beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Folks, if you're ever feeling down, remember, rely to your friends and family because they care about you. I know you guys already clapped for me, but just go on.
One more time.
Get up and